Okay, today we're going to work with multiplying whole numbers by fractions. The reason this is important is if you're wanting to find a fraction of something, typically you're trying to find a fraction of a whole number, not a fraction of a fraction. So the way we're going to do that is, first off, anytime you have a whole number and you're going to try to multiply it by a fraction or divide it by a fraction or work with it as a fraction, you have to put it in fraction form. So any whole number, so if I take the whole number 8, that is equal to 8 over 1 as a fraction. Any whole number, so I can take 12 and it is 12 over 1. 1 is equal to 1 over 1. 4,278 is equal to 4,278 over 1. So that's the first thing that we have to realize. If we understand that, then it's going to make working out these problems so much easier. So if I say I want to see what 1/4 of 8 is, or if I want to say 8 times 1/4, my problem will be written out. Get a new sheet here so you can see it well. So I would say 8 times 1/4 is my problem. Well, I'm going to rewrite it. And every time I do this, I'm going to rewrite it. So I'm going to have it as 8 over 1 times 1 over 4. And then I'm just going to work it out. First thing I'm going to do is cross reduce if I can. 1 and 1 is as simplified as it can be. 8 and 4 can be simplified. 4 will go into both. So 8 and 4. 4 will go into 8 2 times. 4 will go into 4 1 time. So now I have 2 times 2 is 2 over 1 times 1 is 1, and that is equal to 2 over 1. If I simplify it down as far as it'll go, that's going to equal 2, because we said before any whole number over 1 equals that whole number. So any number over 1, anytime you see a fraction and it's over 1, that is equal to the numerator as a whole number. So 2 over 1 is equal to 2. I'll show you another example that does not come out to an even whole number, because we're going to have to do one more step here that you should already know how to do, but you may not, and if you don't, it's okay. I'm going to show you how to do it, and it's very simple. So if I have 7 and I'm trying to multiply it times 2/5, first thing I do, I'm going to rewrite. So I've got 7 over 1, because we always put the whole number over 1, times 2 over 5. Now looking at this problem, there is no cross reduction that can be done. So I've just got to work it out. And I get 14 over 5. Notice here that the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Anytime you see that, that's called an improper fraction. Anytime you see an improper fraction as your answer, we're wanting to change it to a mixed number. A mixed number is going to have a whole number and a fraction. So the way that you figure that out is you're going to look at your improper fraction and see how many times your denominator, the bottom number, will go in to the numerator. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put equals, and then I'm going to put a fraction bar, because you're still going to have a fraction here most of the time. 5 will go into 14 evenly 2 times. So however many times the denominator will go into the numerator, that's going to be your whole number. So 5 goes into 14 2 whole times. 2. How many are left over? Well, if 5 will go into 14 2 times, 5 times 2 is 10. So there's going to be 4 left over. And to figure that out, I can write 14 divided by 5 up here so I can see it better. Put my 2 there. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract, and I have a remainder of 4. My remainder is going to be my new numerator. My denominator is going to stay the same, so I can go ahead and bring 5 over. My remainder is 4, so my simplified answer here is going to be 2 4/5. Now this seems a little difficult, like a lot of work, but the actual math was very easy to get to this point. Now we just have to get used to changing improper fractions into mixed numbers. So I'm going to do a couple to where I just show you how to change improper fractions into mixed numbers, and then I'll go back and do a couple more of the multiplying whole numbers by fractions to where we can put both together and it's easy. Alright, so just working with an improper fraction here, I'm going to have 12 over 5, and I'm going to do it the same way. 5 will go into 12 2 whole times, with 2 left over, the denominator of 5. Take 17 over 6. 6 will go into 17 2 whole times, with, let's see, 6 times 2 is 12, so there'd be 5 left over, and the denominator will always stay the same. When you change an improper fraction to a mixed number, the denominator here is going to be the same as the denominator here. This can never change. The denominator will never change. So I'll take another one. I can have 37 over 6. 6 will go into 37 6 times, with 1 left over, 6. And you can write these all as division problems. We can go back to 12 over 5 and say 12 divided by 5. Whatever your quotient is up here, which is 2, is going to be your whole number. Your remainder will be your numerator, and your divisor will be your denominator. So we're going to put that there as the denominator. Your quotient is going to be your whole number, and your remainder is going to be your new numerator. So the same thing here. We have 17 over 6, so we do 17 divided by 6, because a fraction is just a division problem. 6 will go into 17 2 whole times. 2 times 6 is 12. 17 minus 12 is 5, so I have a remainder of 5. So with what I said up here, the whole numbers, your denominator is going to be your divisor, so I can go ahead and put that over 6. My whole number is going to be my quotient, which is 2, and my new numerator will be my remainder, which is 5, which is the same thing we got up here. So moving into going back to where we started, where we're working with multiplying a fraction and a whole number together, we'll have 9 times 3/5. So I rewrite 9 as 9 over 1, and then multiply by 3/5. I can't do any cross reduction on this, so 9 times 3 is 27. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 will go into 27 5 times, so I write it out going 5 times. 5 is 25. 27 minus, so it's going to be 5 remainder 2. So this will be my whole number. This will be my numerator. This will be my denominator. So 27 over 5 equals 5 2/5. Or you can just do it in your head and say 5 will go into 27 5 times, that's your whole number, with 2 left over, and the denominator stays the same. The reason this is important to know in real life is if I tell you that you spend 1/3 of your life asleep, so 1/3 of your life asleep, if you're 11 years old, so you take 1/3, multiply it by 11, so you're going to go 1/3 times 11 over 1, and you're going to come out to 11 over 3. 3 will go into 11 3 times, with 2 left over 3. So that means that if I tell you that you spend 1/3 of your life asleep, you're 11 years old, then you have spent 3 and 2/3 years of your life asleep. So I'm 30, so it'd be a little bit different. So if I spend 1/3 of my life asleep and I'm 30 years old, so I'd have to get 1/3 times 30 over 1. Here I can cross reduce because 3 will go into 3 and 30. So that'll go into this. So I've spent 10 over 1, which is equal to, reduced down as 10, I've spent 10 years of my life asleep if you truly do spend a third of your life asleep. So this is why this is important. These are the steps to do it. If you need help on the changing improper fractions into mixed numbers, just rewind and rewatch. Make sure that the first thing you always do is change your whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1. And once you do that, this is the same as yesterday. This is really easy. You got to be able to change the improper fractions to a mixed number. You got to remember to put the whole number over 1, and if you can do that, it'll be an easy day for you.